A woman was used to being rejected by the opposite because of her appearance. Men would say mean and rude things that, in hindsight, could have had the power to ruin her outlook on love. But they didn't. In 2019, Marna Michelle had several failed relationship experiences over many years. They were so bad that they could have ruined her life and self-confidence, but she still hoped for a better outcome. Michelle still believed that the right man for her was still there. As a teenager, she could have never imagined being given a chance to write about something very personal to her, her love life. More specifically, she got to talk about the love of her life. The truth was she was differently abled, and she had to use a wheelchair to get around, making the dating pool smaller than what it was for ordinary people. In her piece, Michelle opened up about what led to her being disabled. She also addressed how men responded to her when she was looking for love and going on dates. When Michelle was born, she was diagnosed with arthrogryposis, which affected the development of joints and described congenital joint contracture in the body. Between ages 5 and 13, she used leg braces to get around, but things changed when she got older. She found that her body would become strained when she stood, which overwhelmed her bones, leading her to use a wheelchair. As a teenager, she was bullied for her disability when she tried dating. When she got older, she turned to the dating application, app Tinder, but didn't fare any better. Michelle revealed that she spent around 6 months on the app, but most of the time, all she got was inappropriate questions, with her stating, "I would even get told I was not worth loving because of my disability." Her bullying didn't destroy her confidence, and she credited being comfortable in her skin to her condition. In the past, she had surgery on the day she was born, 2 on both ankles and each leg, plus numerous more. She even recalled being heartbroken when she was called a cripple for the first time in junior high. Michelle cried for many days before she finally asked herself why she was crying. But the bullying and putting down for her disability only started when she was in middle school. She admitted that it shocked her and was hurtful, but she never allowed it to cause her pain or ruin her day. When she started dating in her younger years, things were tough, and she was in high school when she realized boys couldn't get over her disability. The woman admitted it was disappointing, but always knew she deserved the best. She wanted someone who would love her completely, disability and all. And, as fate would have it, that's precisely what she attracted. Most people who've used dating apps know they come with their fair share of creepy people, which wasn't any different for Michelle. She confessed that she never had her hopes high while using Tinder. Instead, she used the dating app mainly because she'd gotten out of a 3-year relationship with a not-so-great guy. Her sister was the one who recommended the then-new app before setting her up and swiping for or against men for her. One of the men who responded positively to Michelle was Robert, whom she described as the love of her life. He became her best boyfriend, with her confessing how glad they'd met on the app. The woman said she knew Robert was exceptional from the moment they met. Despite knowing how mean some people were, Michelle stuck to online dating and was lucky to have found the kindest man she'd ever met. Robert's girlfriend noted how they'd interacted differently on Tinder than how she spoke to other people. What usually happened was that within a day of conversating with someone, the people always asked about her disability and wheelchair. However, Robert was different in that he chatted with Michelle for 2 weeks and even asked her to go out on their first date without mentioning her wheelchair. When they went on a date, she texted him to check if he was aware she was disabled and in a wheelchair, and he said, Michelle ended up feeling ridiculous for having brought it up, but it was a habit she had, because all the other men she'd spoken to always mentioned it. That's when she knew Robert was extraordinary, plus he never made her feel less than or incapable. Robert remained non-judgmental and was always supportive. He could make his girlfriend feel constantly confident and beautiful, and by 2021, Michelle's boyfriend showed how serious he was about her by becoming her fiancé. On March 3, 2022, Michelle shared several Instagram pictures of her with Robert in different settings. She wished him a happy 36th birthday and revealed he was the greatest man of all time. The woman noted how God had broken the mold when making him as he was unlike any other man she'd ever met, and she felt like the luckiest person. Her favorite thing was calling him her husband, showing how they tied the knot. Michelle said her husband was her best friend, who made life delicious and easy. She shared how she couldn't wait to spend 36 more years with him and more before declaring her love forever to her beautiful man. On March 3, 2023, Michelle celebrated Robert's birthday with more Instagram images of their wedding day and everyday life. She noted how her husband was now sexier and older and that people didn't know how wonderful he was. Robert's wife said she was the only one who saw his strength, confidence, kindness, and generosity daily. She confessed to him, making her feel loved, safe, and sexy, and that he deserved the world, whereas it didn't deserve him. In 2021, Michelle revealed that Robert was once a stranger whose hand I spit a rambutan in, but would soon be her husband. She shared how they had an incredible 4.5 years together, filled with career changes, adventure, and fun. Robert's partner thought it was crazy how they'd gone from strangers to lovers to cohabiting and then engaged. She said he was now the most important person in her life, although she once didn't know him. Robert was described as strong, honest, kind, funny, accepting, and creative. He also could make Michelle feel more like herself around him, and she'd learned to love herself more daily and hoped he felt the same way too.